It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. The Weather Bureau is forecasting more storms in the Hunter today. Several storm cells ripped through the region late yesterday, bringing down trees and power lines. There are also reports of flash flooding around Cessnock. Wind gusts topped almost 80 kilometres per hour at Nobby's and Rutherford Airport, while Tocal copped 26 millimetres of rain in just half an hour. Lake Macquarie residents are up in arms about Council's new bin system. Councillors have been fielding complaints about maggots, festering nappies, and the contents of the council-supplied green kitchen waste bags breaking down too quickly before they are collected in general waste bins each fortnight. It's prompted calls for the weekly collection system to resume for the Christmas-New Year period. Land claims on Lake Macquarie's Pelican Marina site are among 33,000 unresolved claims spanning 10 years, according to a report issued by the New South Wales Auditor-General. It shows the number of claims lodged has increased since last year, despite the Department of Industry suffering job cuts in recent years. The Pelican Aboriginal land claims were launched nearly 4 years ago, but are still unresolved. Swansea MP Yasmin Catley says the department doesn't have the resources to deal with the backlog.
The Auditor-General has said that they must prioritise getting through this backlog of land claims that they've allowed to occur, move over and let people come in that want to govern. A Labor government will get through these land claims in the proper time frame and make sure these beautiful parcels of land have the amenity on them that the community want and deserve.
A man has been taken to hospital after crashing his B-double into a rock dividing wall on the M1 Pacific motorway. The crash happened at about 1 a.m. just south of the Hawkesbury River Bridge at Brooklyn. All northbound lanes have now reopened. $100,000 has been granted to Maitland Council by the state government to help protect residents from flood risks. A detailed study will see an evacuation route drawn up for Central Maitland and Lorne. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says with recent dynamic weather, it's crucial we get prepared.
We're on a floodplain there. You've got to think that it comes through regularly. It varies in the scale and the breadth of the flood and how damaging it is. But I certainly don't want to revisit 2015 anytime soon. You know, they're the natural events that come through. I think if we're, as a population, you're going to be moving into places like Central Maitland, then you've got to have that evacuation plan.
Year 12 students in the Hunter have again performed well in this year's HSC. 40 students made the all-round achievers list, receiving the highest band possible in at least 10 units. 26 of them were girls and 14 were boys. 15 students came from Merewether High School. This year's results were only slightly down on last year, when 42 students made the all-round achievers list.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle wheelchair athlete Kurt Fearnley has taken out one of the nation's top sporting honours by being handed the Best Sporting Moment of the Year award at an AIS event in Sydney. Fearnley was handed the award after winning gold in his final marathon in Australian colours during the recent Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. The 37-year-old was gracious as ever in accepting the award in front of 400 guests at the black tie event.
You know, leading into the Games, we had a 6-month-old girl in the house, and you think it's hard trying to train for a marathon when you're 23, getting 8 hours of sleep. Try doing it with a 6-month-old who requires no sleep.
Former Newcastle Knights coach Rick Stone has taken his venture into the women's game by taking the reins of the CRL Newcastle side for 2019. The 51-year-old, who recently returned to Newcastle after a stint with English club Huddersfield, says he remains interested in again coaching at NRL level. Stone's team will compete in the New South Wales Women's Premiership next season. And more than 1,300 touch football players will descend on Gosford this Sunday for one of this year's biggest tournaments. Teams from Wallsend, Newcastle City will take on rivals from around the Central Coast, Hunter and Western New South Wales across 12 different divisions. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 24, 8, 26, 28, 35, 7 and 15, and the Powerball number is 13. 2NURFM News Time, 26 to 9.